Decisions. Decisions are important to be made, and they're important to be made on time. Timely decisions beat better decisions done with a delay because often it can cost you an opportunity. And so in my next book, I talk a lot about how to make decisions, what's the best way to approach the process of making decisions. So I wanted to talk to you about this a little bit. So if you've read my book or if you've seen my TED Talks, TEDx Talks, you know that, I mean, you maybe have heard the story about how I went to a water park for the first time when I was 17. Where I grew up, there were no water parks. I went to Germany on a school exchange trip at 17, and they took us to a water park this one day. And I remember that there was this huge swimming pool. So if you heard the story, bear with me. This huge swimming pool in the middle of the park. And the top board was about 33 feet high, which is about 10 meters. So it was my first time. So I've tried everything many, many times in that park, right? So I decided to try to jump, just jump. I don't know how to dive correctly or whatever. So I decided to try this out. And I went all the way up, and there were a couple of people in front of me. So I waited for them to come to go. And so I came to the edge of the board and I looked down, and it was really high. So I got a little scared, a little nervous, actually a lot scared and a lot nervous. And I was like, okay, like I looked back and there were people behind me waiting for me to jump, kind of like looking at me like hurry up kind of thing. And so I was like, okay, I have a choice now. I can walk away or I can jump and see what it's about. So in that moment, it was the first time I clearly realized that I pushed it to the side and I just jumped. And I didn't hurt myself or anything like that. It was a deep pool, obviously enough for the for that dive or jump or whatever that for whatever you call it. But I decided to do it anyway. Never done that before. Decided to do it anyway. Push my fear aside. Now, it doesn't mean that we take risks and we push our fears aside blindly, but sometimes when there is really almost no risk at all, doing something that scares you is cool. And so, what did I learn from that, right? From that jump? I learned that I don't want to jump again. Important lesson. I learned that I don't love jumping from that high up into the water because you feel your ears, you're it's a little bit not painful, but you can feel it. And I was young, 17, so I didn't really feel much in terms of the ears, at least I don't remember, but it was a little scary. And the water kind of held me, and it was fun looking back, and I'm glad that I did it, but I learned a lesson, right? The lesson was it was a good lesson that I don't really like to do this, and that's great. So, there are different shiny objects in our business that can relate to a 17-year-old kid being in a water park for the first time. We see a mastermind, especially when we get some traction in our business. We see this mastermind, we want to join it. We see this course we buy and never take. We see this coach that we hire that we don't really make the change, or sometimes the coach isn't a great coach. They've either never done this before or don't look at numbers or both. And so we look at a program, a mastermind, a coach, a course, a quiz, a challenge, or whatever, and we give it our all for the first jump, but then we don't learn our lessons. Then we don't make changes to how we approach the shiny objects. And so over the last 8 years that I've worked on my business in a really much more effective way and also in a deeper way as well, I've tried a lot of different things. I've taken a course on everything. I've taken a course on courses. I've taken a course on quizzes. I've taken a course on masterminds. I've taken a course on retreats. I've taken a course on media. I've taken a course on book writing, on public speaking, on everything you can imagine. I've been in business masterminds, coaching masterminds. I've taken a number of exams and lessons and licenses and all of the above. You can read about it in my LinkedIn profile, but I have a lot of different credentials and things, right? And what I've learned, I don't regret any of them. I think that the only way we can grow as people and then as a result as business owners is if we personally learn and grow. That's the only way. And I don't regret any of them, but some of them I could have skipped. Some of them were clear, shiny objects that, you know what, now when I look at a potential shiny object, I no longer want. I'm like, I know what this is about. I don't want to do it. And what's interesting is that business coaches take trainings on how to sell really well. And you've probably heard my spiel about the business coaches who destroy your business, really. If you haven't, definitely take a look at that. But the most important thing is that you should be learning from your experience, right? And so shiny objects, they serve a purpose to open you up to new opportunities, to new things and new decisions. But at the same time, then you learn to refine your decision making process. Before, I used to jump in out of fear of missing out, out of thinking that, you know what, this thing will be the thing that will change it for me. It wasn't. The thing that would change it for me, or rather the person that would change it for me, is this human being right here. This is the only person who would make a difference in my business. I'm responsible for that. And so now, even though I make decisions still fairly fast, there are a lot less yeses in those decisions. And that's really the purpose of this video, of this bit, is that decisions need to be made fast. You know, life is full of, and business too, life is full of flat squirrels who couldn't make up their mind. Go forward or go back. And so I don't want you to be a squirrel. Don't be a squirrel, rather. Learn from the lessons that you made and apply the learnings to the next decision. All right, that's it for this week.